Hello and good morning for this Friday, July what are we, the 19th today?
Yeah.
Big Brother 26 episodes 1 and 2 have aired, but we're just getting started here on Super Mater Brothers podcasting for our reaction to this new season of Big Brother USA. I'm Dave Mater, joined with Jaemeel Robinson, here to break it all down here on a special Friday morning edition as there's a lot going on at the moment in our Star Trek podcasting world as we're trying to cover Star Trek Prodigy right now and their whole second season that came out. So this was like the only time Jaemeel and I really could find to talk about this season and get something like out there before we get it fully into week 2. We're gonna talk about this whole cast this morning. This what maybe what we can look at this season and break it all down. Jaemeel, how are you doing this morning?
I'm not a morning person. Let's start off. But it's always good to talk Big Brother. So I am really, really excited to talk about Big Brother because we uh, we practically took a season off with uh,
Big Brother Canada.
Big Brother Canada. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And we're hoping for positive things this season, but we'll see as we break down the information as well as the cast. So we have a full set of 17 people to talk about.
16 to 17. It's a little, it depends how you want to look at it. If you ask David, it's only 16 for sure. We're gonna break all these people down tonight. Okay, like can I just say off the bat, my biggest surprise was our first overall pick in this draft by the team Simons, Jaemeel. What's his name? Quinn. I was sure Quinn was a woman. I was sure of it. And now Quinn is a man?
That's a man, baby.
That is a man?
Yeah.
How did we get here? Of course.
So
let us know what you think.
Dave. Oh, okay. Long time listener, Sam.
Who's his girl this season? Sam's girl.
I thought it would be Leia.
I would say maybe Mackenzie. Mackenzie, Leah is a possibility. I don't think he's gonna go for the married woman in the former Miss America there. What's her name? Tucker? No.
Tucker's the one with between Leia and the cop.
Oh, Tucker's a guy. Yeah. I can't tell the guys for the ladies this season. So read into that what you will.
Let me see if my because of our particular draft order, I really only zeroed in on people I had available to draft. But let's see how well I can do. You got Cam, Takor.
Yeah.
You have Rubina.
Rubina, that's right. Yeah, from
you
have on the top row. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget his name. I usually refer to him as the kid or little brother.
The entertainer, you might call him.
Cedric the entertainer, yes. Then you got Joseph. Then you have I don't know, religious religious former basketball player.
Are we still on the top row?
Yeah, it's right after Joseph, in between Matt.
Oh, she's at Chelsea.
Chelsea.
I didn't know she was so religious, or I wouldn't have drafted her.
I saw that. I'm like, oh, all she needs is a bow tie.
Yeah, right, exactly. Jocasta is
Jocasta, yes. I forget the person right after Matt. Then Mackenzie, then Chemo.
That's the former Miss America, the one with the
former
orange.
Miss America.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Mackenzie, spelled weirdly. I shouldn't really talk.
And that is Sam's girl.
Mackenzie,
Leah's his number 2 if Mackenzie gets evicted. But Mackenzie, Sam, I just got to ask, are you 6'5"? Because I don't think you're going to get with Mackenzie unless you're 6'5". And I am not 6'5". I'm 6'3". But I wouldn't be good for Mackenzie. So just keep that in mind.
Chemo.
The celebrity chef, which is if I just look, that's Lisa.
Lisa. She looks like a Lisa, but okay. Then you have the cop, Kenny. Yeah,
Kenny.
Kenny. Then you got Tucker, Leah, Quinn, and Amber.
Angela.
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 One thing, when I said this to our chat pretty early, once information got revealed, but people thought it was fake, and you know why that people thought this cast list was fake?
What's that?
Because why are they positioned, right, by, like, dark to light? That
Oh,
was a
you mean
very conscious effort to
yeah, the bottom row is a lot lighter than the top row,
no,
but you know,
no, like, it goes from Cam the darkest to Angela the lightest, like, it just goes from, like, a spectrum of light. It just gets lighter.
yeah, it's these montages where how they work out
It
sometimes.
just it just seems, like, weird as a conscious effort to do that. Like, someone just felt, like, compelled to kind of, to do this. So,
Right.
um
So yeah, we're gonna talk about these 16 house guests, and there's also Ainsley, who is the AI twist for this season. Did you enjoy that, Jamil? The whole AI
I
character?
immediately c I don't it was fairly obvious to me. I'm like, "That is not a real person. That is AI. I bet you that's a twist." Right?
Well, I think it was an actor who they had for part of it, right? But
Yeah.
who can tell?
Seeing that CBS's budget, it seems, in terms of, computer animation is, 90-esque, to put it lightly.
Yeah, it's a little, they might want to get a little bit more intelligent with that artificial creation there.
Yeah.
Hello, I am a computer from, the Lawnmower Man movie. Hello. And so
I think they
it's
should have just committed to the bit and just also have an actor play the AI, um, in real life, but, like, just put it, like, 15 frames per second, so it's just really jerky in terms of movement.
right. Yeah, like it was a little whatever, they always have some twist like this in any given season. You're
Mhm.
gonna get something. This is fine, I guess, as far as themes go. It's they are always being watched. So and I kind of like the idea that this AI was going to mess with them for not voting to vote them in the house,
Mm.
because they present them all with this option like, hey, do you want to vote another person in? And most of them vote no. In the first group, it's a split. It's a
Yeah,
4-4 split. So and then based on, if you voted no, you had to basically go into a punishment competition where, if you're in last place, you're gonna get a disadvantage. But if you had voted her in, you get this advantage, potentially. You can't lose, at least,
yeah.
right? So it'd be interesting to see if that affects how other decisions are made from here on by the house guests, in terms of when they're presented with choices like that.
So, Dave, you bring up I in my notes, I comment that they start talking about twists like less than a minute into the broadcast, and that to me is not a good sign. But I will state one of the things I like about other countries' Big Brothers is how the Big Brother is an actual character and will mess with the house guests,
Hmm.
right? And clearly do so as like there'll be punishments, there'll be positives given tasks. And I think that is a lot better than this Julie Chen randomly states that this is going to be the summer of whatever theme that they have. And then
It's a
6 episodes in,
takeover. Get ready
six
for a
episodes
takeover.
6 episodes in, it's never referenced until maybe like the very end, where it's like, you remember the theme we had? Well, we're still following it, right? So, um,
Hmm.
if they're gonna commit to the bit, I do like it. I am worried though that uh, if it's personified and very directed, that it might influence people's direct like decisions a little too much, and people just start getting compliant about what Big Brother, the program, right? The CBS, program wants.
Right. Well, you saw here that it's Cedric and Chelsea who end up voting no to let Ainsley into the house.
Yeah.
They lose their respective competitions. I was a little surprised that they did different competitions for the two
Yeah.
groups, like that they just that they had whole new things. Although I'm not complaining about it either, but it's it wasn't exactly. I guess you're only competing within your group, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, like that all came out. So yeah, Cedric and Chelsea end up coming last. They end up becoming mascots for the week.
Yeah.
They have no vote. They can't compete in HOH. They can't compete in POV, and they are still eligible to be nominated.
You think that's a little bit too much?
I think it's fine. I think
Okay.
I think compared to like some of those seasons where somebody had to go on night one and all this kind of like stuff, like this is better.
Okay.
Like, but and I think this is just enough amount of messing around with you. And so it was Quinn and I can't remember the other person.
Michaela.
We have
No, Michaela.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie
Folks,
Manbeck.
bear with me. Bear with me. I read this episode. Um, I read this episode. Sorry, I watched this episode about 5 a.m. I finished watching it and then went to sleep for a couple
Right.
hours to come back and do this.
Yeah, I had to I fell asleep in the second half of the second episode, and so I had to kind of catch up this morning and watch the rest.
So I fell asleep. So look, an overall assessment of these two episodes, the juice was not worth the squeeze for it being the way it's formatted. It gets boring in parts. It's interesting meeting the new people, but after a certain point, it's just a lull. The competitions went on a little bit. Like I fell asleep between the end of the first episode and the beginning of the second episode, somewhat. So yeah, that was pretty tough for me. So from a snooze rating, both of us got hit with it. So
Yeah, like it's basically just a series of intro packages, basically, right?
yes,
So that gets a little bit whatever. I get, after a while they split it into two episodes, so you don't even meet the second half of the cast until the next night. And then they go right into the competitions, more or
yeah.
less. And so you spend most of the time watching competitions and little intros, which are not the best way to get to know the cast, although it's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
um and so I don't know, like the first episode, just trying to remember everybody who was in that first group.
Rubina, Cam, Mackenzie, Joseph, Angela, Chemo,
Emo,
Chelsea, and Tucker.
right. And then the second group is everybody else,
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, like I don't know, I was just kind of like, I thought that the twist was kind of interesting to see how those things played out. But did you feel like you got a great sense of who any of these people were?
Um,
um
yes and no, because you get the intro package, which is kind of like whatever sometimes in terms of people's personalities. When you start seeing them interact with other people, that's when you're really
that's
getting
when
to
you get a
see
better
yeah,
sense.
their personalities really highlighted, not their presentation of themselves. I'm pretty sure Chemo is a little bit different than him, you know, drawing and is sitting with his family and playing a ukulele. I think he's a little bit more as a person than that. And
Yeah,
some intro
well,
packages had like were nothing like, I think was it Mackenzie's where she's just basically by the pool.
A lot
And
of it was like her playing volleyball. A lot, she works in construction. Hers, yeah, like her. All the boys are like, "What are you doing here?" She's trying to, get a job, get my job, and she's like, "I'm here to steal your job" or something. And
yeah,
I don't
what
know. She's like a super jock chick, is basically what she is.
um
She's
went to Houston Baptist University on a D1 scholarship, part of a family business, but uh, but she gets a little peeved when people ask, did she get into this because of her dad? And I'm like, technically, wouldn't that be accurate though? If
But
it's a
don't
family
don't
business,
ask her though. Don't you
don't
ask
ask
her
her.
that.
Don't ask
Don't
her.
ask her that. It doesn't matter if it's true. But it is what it is.
Uh,
Um,
let's
yeah.
see.
Well, yeah. Do you want to run through maybe them all? And talk about them all.
Okay,
Just so we.
yeah,
Uh,
Rabina,
okay.
which is LA event hostess. I said she'll be very supported because she's a Filipina, and they support uh, their own when it comes to competitions. She seems to like already have a chip on her shoulder from just her intro package. Uh,
She definitely does.
yeah,
There's Rubina from LA, the 35-year-old bartender.
yeah. Or she referred to herself as an event hostess, which like
Sure.
bartender, yeah.
Event bartender. I don't know, she's definitely somebody who I think we could get some great drama out of this season. Like I think like if you want like a big Amanda type fight in the open living room, I
Yeah.
feel like it's going to be coming from Rubina.
Uh, she could go either way. She could possibly give a lot of Victoria energy. So Kenny might look to try to gobble
You
her up
think a little clueless might be also the case here?
somewhat.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Who's next?
Next was Cam, which,
Okay.
geez,
Oh, let's talk. My draft pick, Cam. Come on,
this
former
is a Daryl
CFL
pick.
player.
This is
I
such a-
I knew he was a Daryl pick, and I was just like, I had to pick right before Daryl. I was like, there's no way Daryl can have this man. I'm taking him.
yeah.
So
Former CFL player, as mentioned before. What team did he play for?
I don't know actually. I'm gonna see if I can find Cam
Okay,
Sullivan Brown.
yeah.
CFL.
Um, you know how you know someone isn't very sensitive and empathetic
How?
when they refer to themselves as being sensitive and empathetic. Like that's automatic alarm bells. It's like if you're broadcasting that, that kind of you're kind of saying something that you think you are, but not really are. I'm
I
very sensitive. I'm like, are you?
So according to Cameron Sullivan Brown's CFL page, he's never played a day. I can't even tell if he was ever drafted.
Jeez,
But he has a page.
he has a
Like
page.
he has a page. He went to Massachusetts University. But it just says status American. Just I don't know. There's nothing here.
You don't know if it's a commentary on the CFL's bookkeeping versus like how much did he actually play.
Yeah, it's okay. Here's another article. Former Penn State star receiver Cam Sullivan Brown cast in Big Brother. He spent 5 years at Penn State before playing his final season at UMass. Since then, he's become a TikTok star. So I think more so than his CFL stuff.
Yeah.
I can't even. Was he drafted in the CFL? Anyway, he never played.
Maybe
It seems like
maybe he made like practice squad and never actually played a single game.
yeah. It doesn't seem like. Oh, it looked maybe the Edmonton Elks. I think that's what I'm getting here.
Okay.
So, and he's probably happy he never had to go play for the Edmonton Elks more than anything, or live in Edmonton for that matter. So
Anything
anyway,
else?
Cam, I like. Cam is going to go far in this game. People are going to want to be on his side. People are going to be his friend. He's going to do well in competitions. Like, how can you not love this man? Look at that smile.
He's pretty like his intro package was pretty generic.
That's fine. That's good. People like generic. Like he's going to do well. Watch out.
Okay.
We got
Next is Mackenzie, who we briefly spoke about. Sam's
I
Sam,
love the Mackenzie Manbeck. That's my favorite part.
I don't need a man.
I
My last name's Manbeck.
Right. She's only 22.
Yes.
Amazon might be a description for her. She's very tall. 6'2" in heels, according to Sam. He's not 6'5". But he's working on it.
Sam, you're 6'5", you're 6'10" in our hearts. Okay.
Yeah. Well, she's still his heart.
Oh.
Mackenzie, I don't think I would like her in real life. This is my main feeling on her right now.
I've met people with that type of mentality. It's like, what? 5'9" is short, and I'm like, okay.
Because I think she's in the first group, right? And Cam was not going to cut it for her. He's not tall enough, and maybe that
Cam is
other
like
guy.
what? He's 5'9", 5.
I'd say he's maybe 6. Cam, he's not short, but he's not like tall.
Yeah.
5'11", maybe something like that.
I assume that she's probably interacted with a lot of insecure men. That's why she's like, oh, I need someone taller, so I could wear heels.
Sometimes when somebody this pretty is single, I kind of go, why? What's wrong with you? What's happened? But, are you you have a thing? But maybe not. It's just hasn't found love yet. Best not to assign those types of things.
Very career focus, so that's good.
Mackenzie is going to be an aggressive player, I predict, as well. Like somebody, socially speaking, is going to try to get her way. And will be at the center of some kind of a power alliance, I predict, early on. Maybe including Cam, and people like that. People who they will perceive as having high potential to win physical competitions, not so much the mental ones.
So what you're saying is her and Angela aren't necessarily going to become a power duo to take on everyone else and beat everyone in competitions?
Negative. I very much doubt it. I think Mackenzie will say, I could win competitions too, so I have something to offer in value there as well. This has been the trend in Big Brother for a while, where the people who believe that they are going to be able to win power more often than others try to ally with each other. And it kind of goes back to the whole grade school and high school mentality of the jocks kind of stick together and they kind of wherefore they can make the best team, right? And be more successful versus trying to go against each other, and which is what we prefer as the audience, I'm sure, but that's often not what we get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who's next?
Next is Joseph, their Tampa Bay video store clerk.
What a guy.
There was a wrestling team called the Vaudevillains. And when I look at this man, he gives off vibes of that. And they kind of briefly alluded to like a vaudeville type of black and white, old-timey type of presentation. He looks like he was a big fan.
Was
just a big fan of Jonathan Silverman. I don't know if you remember him from the late 90s. He had a TV show called In Case of Emergency and The Single Guy. It looks like a lot of his aesthetic was built off of that.
I'll tell you who he really reminds me of is Ben Stiller in the Dodgeball movie. With that mustache.
The mustache is definitely from Ben Stiller Dodgeball.
Yeah.
He's a poker player. That's his.
I guess that's his his thing. He works in a VHS video store, no less.
Yeah.
I guess people who are into that niche stuff. I bet you that there is a VHS store in Toronto and probably in Hamilton, and there's people who are kind of into that. So I'm not that surprised that these stores still exist, here and there for people who are just into that thing. It's not like when we were growing up when there was a video store in every corner. Every convenience store was renting movies and whatever else.
Oh, I miss it.
Poker players do good in Big Brother, according to Sam.
But how many poker players have won Big Brother USA?
None that I remember.
They come close though. They do
They
well,
come
but
close. Yeah, they
um,
haven't won.
I
Joey
feel bad.
Rodriguez, are you down for him? Are you thinking he's got a shot to win this?
No, he's just going to be an interesting player that gets. I don't really see that much juice out of him in terms of like a Kevin Martin or like really interact with the well Kevin Martin won Big Brother 5, yes, uh, but I specified in terms of poker players in US, and we got our Vanessa Russo, who did
She came third.
yes,
Yeah.
you can't went very far, but she did not win.
No.
Which on a little quick side tangent, the amount of content, poker content, in my feed that has come up with her, like some random poker thing, and I'm like, that's Vanessa Russo,
Oh yeah,
right?
she's
It's
still
like
going.
Vanessa Russo and Jennifer Tilly competing against each other. It's just weird.
Jennifer Tilly, the actress.
Yes, she's a poker player. She's really like that's what she does more than more than anything. She does voice acting and play poker.
Oh, good for her. Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of what Jennifer Tilly was up to. I guess.
Hey, great pivot, great
Mm-hmm.
pivot.
Great pivot.
Um, do you think he's gonna do well?
No, he's not even making jury, in my
Oh,
opinion.
really? Wow.
No, they'll target him early. He'll be a pre-jury boot.
He does seem like the one of these things are not like the other. Like you have the older persons, which is like obviously Kenny and Angela.
Yeah,
Then you have a lot of PYTs, right? Pretty young things. And then
yeah.
Joseph is the well, you're not ugly, but you're not really good looking. So you must be some kind of super fan, right?
Right.
And we're
Like in
gonna
his
target you.
confessionals as he's meeting people last night, or was it, I guess it was 2 nights ago because he's in the first group.
Yeah.
He's like, everyone's like intimidated by my mustache. They think I'm a villain, and I just got people that make people like me and stuff. I was like, I wouldn't have gone with the mustache
Yeah.
in general.
That would
Yeah.
have been first go. First go.
If
Be
you had
baby
come in
face.
without that, maybe that's what helped him in casting. But I don't know. Like I don't feel like it's
Shave it first week. That's it got you through
yeah.
casting. They can't take you off the show yet.
Yeah, now that you're in there, I would, yeah, take it off,
Yeah.
or I don't know, like make it less dramatic, maybe. And then just make yourself more approachable. I think that's ultimately what it's going to be. Sort of, it might be good for him in the poker world, but I don't know if it's gonna be so good in this.
Next
Yeah.
is Angela, which is the real
Okay,
estate agent from Utah.
she's not quite what I was expecting. You
Really?
know, I she's way more bubbly and energetic than I was predicting. I had a choice between because I had a later pick in our draft, and I could have had Angela or Chelsea. I chose Chelsea. I wish I chose Angela right now. I just think she's more rootable. Even though she lives in Utah, she seems to be less religious. And all these things make her more appealing to me on the other side of it.
So
Um,
where I was drafting from, uh, from the people I had available on the board, I had a three, and I was switching in between any of the three as being my two choices, and Angela was uh, on the bubble for that. It was Angela, it was Takor, and it was Matt that I was choosing from, and
right.
many times it was Angela and Takor, Angela and Matt. Uh, when ultimately I just decided against it, just because traditionally being an older woman uh, doesn't really bode well for the longevity in the game.
Yeah. That's why I didn't draft her. I was like, for her to win this game is probably a lot of things would have to happen, in her favor. Because the pretty young things typically, they might be nice with her and have a
Yeah,
good friendly relationship, but they won't necessarily take her seriously. And if she does get far into the game, like down into the jury phase, they're going to target her because they'll see her as a huge jury threat.
yeah. No one wants to vote out their mom, so we got to get mom out. They're like,
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna want to get her out pre-jury
yeah, they
necessarily.
won't
Like,
care. She's gonna mama T it. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
Right.
Uh,
But I like her overall. I like her. She was. We'll see how this all plays out.
okay,
But
so bear with me, despite what I'm going to say. I do like her, but she, from her presentation, she gives cool mom vibe. Um, and she seriously is the Cliff of this season. Um, she's so happy to be there that it's kind of like, aw, everyone's gonna feel that way whenever she does something.
yeah, she was almost crying in the show. Right. She's like, I
Yeah,
can't believe I'm here. I'm so grateful. Yeah. She doesn't lose her competition. She was in that color spinner thing,
yeah.
right? And she like got one wrong right or something. She's like, I don't know, blue. They're like, yeah. And she's like green. They're like, no, it burnt.
Mm,
Somehow she doesn't come last.
yeah.
Somehow, oh no,
Someone did worse.
she could. It didn't matter if she came last. I'm sure she came last in her group, but
Yeah,
since she was on the positive side, she couldn't get a penalty.
yeah.
So,
Next is Kibo.
chemo. Okay,
Yes, who I kept thinking was being Kino, like from TV Ninja Turtles 2. Whenever someone said his name, I'm like, it's Chemo, not Kino. Remember that.
computer.
Uh, People were happy because they finally have a person from Hawaii.
Hawaii. Is he the first one?
Yeah, his first one from Hawaii.
All right. Well, he's a mattress sales representative.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, like I don't know, like Chemo. He seems like a nice guy. It turns out LGBT community. He's got more to him than that though, and I don't know. Like he seems like a fun guy. I don't know.
Uh,
Like
from his non his videos before that were released before, he seemed very interesting. And I thought he was going to be like a huge personality in the season. That intro package was basically a Hallmark movie slash advertisement for Hawaii. And I'm
the
like,
camera crew was just so thrilled they got to go to Hawaii
yeah,
and and film him. They're like, this is the best assignment we ever could
yeah.
get.
I wish him well. I just don't really feel like, I don't know. I need to see him interacting with people.
Yeah, like I'm not necessarily thinking like this guy's gonna win the game.
Yeah, he doesn't get
But
that vibe.
I don't think he's like a lame duck either. I think he's got a
True.
chance to do something here. He drafted third overall by Daryl. Since I took Cam away from Daryl, he took Chemo instead.
It's good to see Daryl, diversifying his choices. I thought he would have taken Tucker.
Right.
Or sorry, I'm surprised he didn't take Matt, but I think he thought Matt was too much of a pretty boy.
And he is.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about Matt. But yeah, Chemo, he's cool. I don't know. Like it's hard to know what to expect out of him so far. He
Yeah.
was, he was pretty expression full, I guess. Expressive. That's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. Like when they were like presenting Ainsley and things like that. He's like, "Hello, Ainsley," and he's
Yeah.
got some like there a lot of those little flares. So I think he's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah. Next is Chelsea, which is the nonprofit coordinator from Rancho Cucamonga.
I mostly drafted her because she was from Cucamonga. That was mainly my motivation here, and nothing else. I was like, Cucamonga, that's fun.
Isn't that like the same place that next Friday takes place?
I feel like it's been in some movie or there's some reference to it that I have in my brain. I can't quite
Yeah.
recall. And so yeah. She's I don't know, like I'm not super happy she's my draft pick, honestly, but she was our second last pick. And it was her or Angela, as I mentioned, and I don't know, we'll see. Like I don't
Angela.
it's hard to imagine her winning this game at the right
Yeah.
as of right now. Like it would be a long path, but who knows?
Whatever they focus in on your religion as, and not like I'm gonna be the first Muslim, like when they're like, oh, I love me some Jesus, it's like
That's nice,
it's like this is not gonna
but
go
then
well.
sometimes they find other religious people in the house, and then they have like their prayer group and
Yeah.
stuff because they got nothing else to do. They're allowed to have a Bible. That's the only book they're allowed, right?
I think they make sure that's available.
That you can go in the diary room and look at it.
Well, I know that during Dan's seasons that he spent a lot of time reading the Bible the couch, right? And he used that as a tool to kind of keep in plain sight and
And just for
you know,
something to do.
well, something to do and not seem threatening because you're everyone knows where Dan is. He's on the couch reading the Bible,
Right. Is
right?
Dan religious?
Dan, like religion is a part of Dan's life, but I don't think it's like he uses it as a strategy.
Okay. Well,
Um,
I don't know if Chelsea is going to use it as a strategy. I think she's just going to.
I think she's going to use it as a bonding mechanism with people who are inclined. The issue is going
Uh,
to be she meant like the people say it all the time where they're like, I know I'm super religious, but I'll say I'll beg for forgiveness after the season, and then like clockwork during the season, there's going to be some moral dilemma where they have to be ruthless, and it's like, oh, I don't know, oh,
Sam says there have been others from Hawaii. I don't know. Sam, let us know who else is from
yeah.
Hawaii. Uh,
Sam's our unofficial fact checker.
yes, but
I can just make random statements and get proven wrong real time.
my prediction is Mackenzie and Chelsea will bond over religion.
Oh, really?
My prediction is Mackenzie comes from a religious family, but I could be wrong. I could be stereotyping her.
Roman Catholic construction family.
No, she'd be a Baptist. I would
Oh,
put. I would.
really?
She's from Houston. She's from like one of those super. I don't
Oh,
know, like
she went to Houston Baptist University,
yeah. I think she'd
Division
be a
One
Baptist.
scholarship.
Yeah, she'd be like one of those like Methodists or one of those type of religions.
Ooh,
And so yeah, like that's my prediction. But who knows?
who
But
knows?
anyway, but Chelsea, so far, she's got that disadvantage. Even though she's my pick, I was like, yes, punish her. I don't. Whatever. Make her a mascot. Let's see what she does with it.
Let's see what she does. I'm surprised it didn't break out the leotards.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Next was Tucker, marketing sales professional from NYC via Boston.
So this guy describes himself like Jim Carrey, or he likes to.
Jesus.
He's the Boston Jim Carrey.
I'm
Maybe.
so glad I did not take this dude.
This guy, I don't know what to make of him either. Like, he seems like a bit of a weird guy. I
He
don't
seems
know.
like a straight up recruit. And like I could just see this season he's gonna be Boston / New York person, just gonna reference the fact that you know uh, he's lived or been comes from these places. So there's gonna be a lot of baseball comments, a lot of like anytime that they could just lean into like these stereotypes of those two cities, like that's their man.
Well, of course, Kenny is a Boston cop. So maybe there'll be a connection with Tucker and Kenny having that Boston link.
Yeah, maybe hopefully some scenes from The Departed get referenced.
The dearly departed. Tucker's backstory was kind of interesting. When he says that his father came out as gay when he was a kid, and like that caused some issues for his family, and but made them tighter. So I'm kind of interested to hear more about that. See what he has to say there. But yeah, I don't know. Like Tucker, he seems like an interesting guy, kind of. I don't know.
You seem. I would just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't pick this dude. He just his intro package did not do him any favors. But
a little boring too.
For me.
I'm a little bored by him so far. Even though he's expressive, but he's but I need a little bit more personality. I think something more substance is what I guess what.
So of course, because they're part of the first group, we do get a reference of Cam and Tucker kind of connecting. Cam's like, oh, person who stood up was Tucker. He looked like me and him could be good friends, but I'm still cautious of him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's it sounds like the pairing that
Tucker and Cam is a pair that I wouldn't have predicted that, but maybe
well, because he's in terms of the first group, like you have his in terms of Cam's choices to bro down, it's either Joseph Chemo or Tucker. I think he's gonna take Tucker.
Right. Well, yeah, he's only got so many. Yeah. And because wasn't no Quinn's in the second group, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
right.
All right. Is that all the first group? Have
That's
we
the
missed anyone?
first grouping. Yeah.
Okay, and they were fine. All like we've commented on all of them. Okay, let's get into the second group. Do you have any?
You're gonna help me.
Okay,
That's
let's talk.
Big
Let's
Brother.
talk. Okay, just because I have her on the screen right now. Let's because I keep forgetting her name, Brooklyn Rivera. From she's the former Miss America.
Yes. You can
She's
tell. How can I tell? The posture. The
Yeah,
posture
she's a
immediately.
pageant queen,
Yes.
34 years old.
Yes.
Okay, like in a lot of these packages, it like was the common theme like we grew up poor, there was no food in the cupboard, we had nothing. Like almost like half of the house guests have this kind of backstory where they come from humble roots.
Yes.
And including Brooklyn, who seems like she's doing quite well in her life now.
Mhm.
These years later, works as a business administrator, but
Do
she
you think
was.
do you
I
think
like
she's a
her
girl's
sort
girl?
of in a kind of. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna always like her as the season progresses. I think she could have potential as a villain.
Oh, yeah.
In the
Definitely.
next. I'm kind of like 'cause she's married, so she won't be showmancing or anything. So I'm kind of like, well, who is Brooklyn going to ally with? Is kind of my question at this time. Like, is she going to go with the older crowd with like Angela and Kenny and people like that, or is she going to try to get in with the pretty young things and stick with them? Or
Do you feel that she's a girl's girl?
I think she's a well, so I guess the question
Could
there is like, do I think she could try to form the all female alliance? I think that there's a good chance of that. Yeah.
Well, I'm also making a reference to Taylor Hale, who was also in pageants and was immediately ostracized because of that. Weirdly,
Sam? Are you saying that Brooklyn is friends with Aaron Grease?
you do not know?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I'm like in our draft. I'm surprised no one knew about that. I was never
Oh,
going
is that why
to.
you made the eyes?
Yes,
But
I'm like,
because Brooklyn got drafted
with
by
Jane, I
by
think.
Jane, but
Yeah.
Jane, yeah, Jane. I'm sure Jane never even saw Big Brother 15, so she doesn't even know who Aaron is.
Mm. She's friends with Brooklyn is friends with Aaron and Kate Dunn. I think it's Kate Dunn.
I'm not familiar with Kate Dunn.
Um, she was in seasons afterwards.
She was
Uh,
okay.
yeah, so
She's
um,
after Aaron, so I
yeah,
should know who she is then. Okay,
yes. If you look her up, you'll
Kate
think.
with a C.
No, I think it's K.
Kate Dunn.
Yeah,
Big Brother. I'm trying to remember who. Catherine Dunn. Big Brother 21. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Then I have seen her. Oh, her.
You owe her.
She didn't do so well. 58 days in Big Brother 21. She
Yeah,
was a juror. Okay, so she did okay, I guess. Um, man, I really forgot about her.
yeah.
Oh,
No.
Catherine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
So like
incestuous casting.
the blonde, like I don't know, they're like the Barbies. Like I would classify them as Barbies, I guess.
Yes.
So.
So she is absolutely guilty by association. So
But
I was
how long
never
has she
gonna
been
pick
friends
her.
with Aaron Grease? Like a long time, or just more recently?
Supposedly she's still friends. Supposedly.
Okay. Well, maybe guilty by association or not, we'll let you decide.
Yeah.
But Aaron Grease was famously on Big Brother 15, kind of said some racist things
Yes.
against Helen and Candace in particular. She was racist in many. She was a equal opportunity racist.
Yeah.
She went after many different people. I was generally kind of in that mean girl group. And
Yes.
so, you can kind of maybe put them in that category too, just mean girls from and Texas, right? They've got this whole
Yeah.
Texas connection too, which is also Mackenzie's also from Texas. So, but
Mm.
Houston, not Dallas. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I could
We'll
see
see how it goes.
Mackenzie and Brooklyn. I also could see being potentially connected.
Oof. Girl boss alliance.
Could be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about the next person I have up here, Cedric. Uh,
AKA little brother.
yeah, he also got the punishment in his group. He came last, and he didn't vote in Ainsley, and he's gonna be one of the mascots along with Chelsea. Um,
He's
so
21 and a former Marine.
he's 21. He's a former Marine. He talked about his life where, so his father was in prison when he was born. His
Yeah.
mother, he's raised by his grandmother.
Yeah.
In it says Running Springs, California, but he now lives in Idaho, in Boise. So I don't know. I think he's interesting. I think like for a 21-year-old, he seems to have a lot in his past already.
Yeah.
A lot of a story to tell.
But he seems really young.
Really young. Those eyes like really pop.
Yeah.
It could be in a showman's. I could see it.
I
I don't know with
guess
who, but
but once again, he seems really young. Like he's had life experience as a Marine, but at the same time, he just has like little brother energy.
yes,
Like,
little brother energy. Just we were at dinner the other night, Jaemeel, and Cedric is the same age as Eamon, my son, who was also present at that dinner. So just put that into some context. But they are. I'm not sure who's older. I would guess Eamon probably.
I would guess even.
Yeah, like it's I don't know, like Cedric, I think he'll be entertaining. No pun intended, but
Honestly, I think he's only gonna be there to out Kenny. That's it.
my thought too is like now that Chelsea and Cedric have been put in this like punishment position, and are they like sort of easy noms,
Wouldn't
or
you?
who
Like,
I think so. Or
yeah,
at least I would consider it, because like the house would go, well, they were sort of last, and like, I think people, when you don't have a good reason to nominate somebody, it's a reason,
yeah,
and so I could see like, yeah, Chelsea and or Cedric going on the block this first week. So not great for them. And once you've been on the block once, you're always an option probably to go back up, because the
you've been
shock
there
of it
before. Oh,
won't
you
be.
handle it so well, so I trusted that you were
Yeah, I
gonna
saw
handle it.
you. You've done it before. You know what to do. So that's what's so key about doing well in these kind of carnival games they throw you at you the first
Yeah,
day. You got to take them seriously. So anyway, so Cedric, um, excited to see more, but I think like he could have a bad hand dealt to him here.
yeah.
And he's another one who was like, I grew up poor, so does et cetera, et cetera. Okay, let's talk about Kenny.
Lord. I'm not gonna tell anyone I'm a cop. Clearly just reeks of cop.
Cedric called out Kenny, according to Sam. What did he
Yeah,
call
he
him out
did.
for?
He saw the tattoo and it's like,
Oh yeah, he did. He said, "Oh, that tattoo, like that could be military or it could be police."
yeah,
And I was like this. Okay, Kenny's like, I'm not gonna tell people I'm a cop, undercover cop, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, first of all, people are going to think you are.
yes.
So what is his cover story?
I'm
Um,
not even sure, but still, like he's like, oh, I'm gonna be like the dad. Like, so you want to be the authoritative figure, right?
not a
Like,
Yeah, like I guess what other choice does he have? I guess he's 52. He's the oldest one in the house, 2 years older than Angela. Does he's a big, tall, intimidating kind of a guy,
dude, yeah.
right?
Just to,
So what's he going to do to make himself approachable? I think is the big question I have about Kenny. Who is he going to ally with? Is my other question. And if
can he
he's
be like
not
the coach?
yeah, if he's not going to play like I'm a cop or whatever, then what is he going? Is he going to be like Derek? Oh, what did Derek claim to be? Like an administrator or some kind of like public
Yeah,
service official? Um,
but like Derek had less of a intimidating build. He,
Derek went out of his way to like lose weight before he went in,
yeah,
right? For that very reason,
Kenny just looks too. It's like dude must have been in some type of service and everything, or
yeah, like
former
so with the
military.
tattoo, he could say like I was in the Marines, and that could be a thing with him and Kenny. Sorry, Cedric. I mean, Cedric and but I don't know, like what if you say you're a cop or an undercover cop? Is that the only time people are supposed to get intimidated by you, or
No, just cop in general.
but why? Like,
What?
like you know, like
Because
is this
people don't like
just from
cop. Like,
TV and movies? Like we have this idea that they have superpowers.
well,
Um,
no, and but typically how well people do in Big Brother, cops and Survivor and reality television. So
who drafted Kenny? Amanda did, 11th overall. Like if he had been around by the time I got to Mike, I would rather have him than Chelsea.
I still
Or
would have probably take Angela. I think Angela's gonna go farther than Kenny.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think Kenny like if there's his archetype. Who would you compare him to? Like will he be a Cliff? Will he be
I think he
uh,
would want to be a Cliff, a
yeah.
Cliff
If
with
he's
better
lucky,
decision making.
he'll be a Cliff. Yeah,
Cliff was still the power position that kind of got squandered later on, but
true.
Kenny seems like what's his name? The cop, was it a cop or poker player? Summer of Steve. Like, booted the
Yeah,
second.
like also by the way, Jaemeel is two guys in our 40s. There's nobody in their 40s in this cast. It's you have to be 50 or you have to be like 30 or
Yeah.
20 or something like that. I'm it's where are the millennials?
Yeah.
Come on in
That being
this.
said, Joseph's build is something that I can at least strive for to be on the show.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but Kenny, I'm skeptical of overall, like a little
oh,
bit.
man,
Like I'm like,
absolutely.
although watching him like that competition where you had to put your face up against like the circle and you had to move that along, that was like the most entertaining to watch
Yeah.
in these 2 nights. Watching him do it, and I think Lisa watching her do it
Yeah.
was quite entertaining. Okay, I know we're coming up to an hour here, and I know you gotta get to work, and I gotta get to work, and all that. So let's try to run through these people. So Leah Peters, she's okay, 26-year-old, lives in Miami, but from Pittsburgh. Another waitress, basically. Oh,
Yep.
VIP cocktail server. Let's put it correctly.
That's what she
Um,
puts on the business cards.
Leah is like watching her in that competition where you had to move like the circuits around was kind of
Yeah.
interesting. Like she had some interesting physicality to her. She's clearly like a social person. She's got a lot of like engagement. I think like I could. Will she go into like a girls' alliance?
She looks like she's gonna be in like a showman's.
And who would you predict for her? Of the single men, her and Quinn, perhaps.
No. Maybe
No,
Tucker.
okay. She's 26. Like, would she go for someone as young as Cedric, or
No. She's
know,
probably gonna end up with someone really tall. So like
that's Matt.
Matt.
So okay, is Matt more likely to end up with Leah, or more likely to end up with Mackenzie?
End up with Leah. Mackenzie's resentful
Right,
because
because he's the
Matt.
only tall guy.
Yeah.
I could only go for tall, Leah. Yeah, how could you steal Matt
Yeah.
from me?
Yeah. That's practically it. Which a lot of the tall people I know have like
Leah's number 2 for
yeah,
Sam.
for Sam.
Who is it? Your better match to Leah. Just right off. I'm going to tell you right now. Like it's like, with no hesitation. Like Mackenzie, that's not what you want.
Yeah.
So anyway, like Leah, I would rather go out with Leah for sure. Like Leah is more rounded and less like Mackenzie's got like a chip on her shoulder too.
Yeah.
So I think
There'd
Leah's
be a lot of
Leah's fun.
arguments, I believe.
Yeah, like we'll see it with Leah, but she's okay so
Yeah.
far. I'm not no red
Not
flags.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also in this second group, we got Lisa Weintraub. 33 years old, although like I was a little surprised she's only 33.
Are you saying something
I think
or
it's like
me put
maybe it's like California Sun or something. Yeah. Yeah, there's maybe like sun
I would
damage.
I would say, to be fair, the tan and the hair does not help.
With the pink streaks and
No,
whatever.
not even the pink streaks. I think that like the heavy tan in terms of her complexion and the hair makes things a lot worse. Yes, it makes it look like she was in her 40s with a different hairstyle or hair color. I don't think we would be drawn to thinking the way we do about her facial appearance age.
Yeah, it's just I guess like she said in her even in her package, I love to be outside, I love to be on the beach. So she's just probably been a lot in that California sun. She's apparently Paris Hilton's personal chef. So
Okay.
take that for what it is. But also, she seems like she runs a successful catering business, and she seems to do a lot of events and whatever. And I don't know, she seems like very driven, very competitive, very focused. I don't know,
Are,
like
are people going to gravitate to her due to the uptick in shelf culture as of
like
late in pop culture?
if she talks about knowing all these celebrities, I think you could see like the fame whores of the TikTok stars will just want to sort of get closer to that.
Yeah. So like
So
Cam.
particularly Cam, I think,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I think it'd be interesting to see how if she wields that as a sort of tool to like make connections with people or not. Is what
Uh,
I'm curious
I
about it
think she'll
here. But
casually name drop. I don't think she's like a. I think she's a celebrity chef. So I think that if you're that renowned, um, you're probably just kind of used to a higher profile
like
overall.
just based on who she is, like my thought would be she would ally with somebody like Brooklyn. Um,
Okay.
but maybe I'm off with that. I'm kind of curious. Like I'm assuming all these women want to work together, but I've watched enough Big Brother seasons to know that they never want to. So
There's a lot of alpha. I shouldn't even use that term, but like a lot of really driven women, I should say.
Yeah, and she's probably at the front of that. Yeah, it's the
Which
driven, successful, entrepreneurial type women.
which
Lisa,
yeah, which could
um,
be very difficult in terms of like a grouping because who's gonna lead, right?
right? Because if you got like, I feel like they all want to. Like, even if you throw like Leah into the mix and Rubina and like there's going to be like a lot of friction here potentially. There
Yeah.
might be like forget about an all women's alliance. It might be like a women's civil war in this season.
Which you know what? I wouldn't mind either. So
Yeah, me either. Okay, let's talk about your boy,
my boy.
Maddie Hardiman.
Okay. Matt seemed physically um physically able, tall, good looking, showman's bait, right?
How many times does he have to tell us he has a pretty face? Is my question.
But the package, dude, watching the package on the show, I'm like,
This
Lord.
pretty face. He kept talking about how good looking he was, and like he's just like it says he's a tech sales rep.
Of course he is. Just
Um,
just like how a lot of strippers become medical sales reps too.
yeah, we got a tech sales rep, we got a mattress sales rep, we got a
Yeah.
real estate agent. We got a bunch of salespeople here.
Yeah,
Oh, and Tucker's a sales guy too.
yeah, Tucker.
So I don't know, Matt. Okay, showman's for sure with
Yeah,
somebody. Probably Leah. Mackenzie's bitter. I like that prediction.
yeah,
And I don't know. He'll just be like a dumb
yeah,
alliance member. He'll be a number for some other smarter player to
yeah.
use. Is
He'll get
my
deep in the game and then he'll slip on a banana peel. Very obvious banana peel.
yes. All
Yeah.
right, so Matt. I have nothing else to say about
There's
Matt.
nothing. There's nothing to say for that
There's
dude
nothing
right
else.
now.
I have more to say about this guy, Quinn. Quinn,
Yeah.
from Oklahoma, now lives in Nebraska. I was certain this was a woman when I like when we were doing our draft. I had no idea this was a man. 25 years old, a nurse recruiter, and interesting, different.
Yes.
If Joseph can make an ally, it's probably in Quinn.
It's
So
possible or uh so okay. I kind of this is the period in which I kind of drifted to sleep. So I missed Quinn's intro package.
okay, Quinn.
Uh, I
Very
I
active person, physically capable, more than you think. Short. He said he's perpetually single. Has not had much luck in the. He's open to a showmance, but he's like, kind of a.
He's at least
Diff-
realistic in
he's
the
not. He's not Matt. Let's say he's not Matt.
yeah.
So I don't know. Interesting. Quinn was taken first overall by the Simons in our draft, so they see something in him.
So Quinn is very. I think it's the haircut more than anything.
Yes. Well, in this particular photo we're looking at with this
Yeah.
jean jacket and this turtleneck, and I don't know, it's like in this particular hairstyle, and
Certain
everything else.
stereotypes come to mind, like uh, he looks very, um, he looks very masculine, presenting female, right? I would say, and I think it's just basically from different tropes from the past, and that hair that really just the signals in my brain just automatically assumes, and the non-gender specific first name Quinn, um it just automatically has my mind go and associate in certain directions. um but seeing Quinn interacting with individuals, I think Quinn's gonna do fine. Quinn is the type of person that seems very awkward initially, but will connect with individuals, and you're like, oh, this is Quinn, yeah, Quinn. Or Joseph loves Quinn, and uh, you'll see that Chelsea loves Quinn or loves hanging around Quinn, or Angela loves, uh, you know, talking with Quinn. Quinn has great energy. You'll hear things like that about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quinn's. I'm not super enthusiastic about Quinn yet, but I might get there. Like
Mhm.
it's. I'm a little skeptical of Quinn. We talked about Rubina, right?
Yes, we
Um,
did.
so let's talk about your other pick, Decor,
Okay. Takor. Okay.
the
I had
crochet business.
Takor from the House of Morta. Uh, I had
Yeah,
to, I had to pick.
this accent that Decor has is something, I guess.
So I'm like, okay, she seems young, put together, very driven. She doesn't look like she seems like she's not necessarily a volleyball star, but she seems like she's not necessarily going to be someone who's going to be like, oh, like failing in competitions. She'll be middle of the pack, right? I think. Um,
Yeah, she didn't come last in these ones.
yeah. Um, I I just get a vibe from her that I think she's gonna do well. Uh, and she's exotic. And I think a lot of guys are gonna dig that too. That accent.
It's wild. Like,
Yeah.
because it says she lives in Atlanta, but her hometown is Chicago via London. So she has like this. She said she left England when she was about 8, and then she went to Chicago, and then she went to the South, right? So it's kind of like this very like if she says a sentence, it kind of like weaves in and out of different dialects.
uh,
So it's
People will listen to her.
yes, she will. They will.
Yeah.
How can you not? Her crochet business was interesting and all that stuff and all these different things she does. She comes from a very interesting background, to lesbian moms.
Yeah.
With her and her sister, kind of raised them a very specific,
Girl boss.
yeah, girl boss sort of
Yeah.
thing. Take nothing off nobody, I think she says in her package.
Yeah.
So again, like I think that's good casting in the sense that you're putting like these different personalities together. But I think like I'm like, okay, on paper this is like, how will Takor bounce off these other players is kind of a question that I have at this time.
Do you think that's the mentality this season, that I feel like a lot of the men aren't necessarily the aggressive, quote unquote, alpha types,
Right.
right? And they decided to just really load up on women who, have that type of, strong mentality,
That leadership sort of
yeah, leadership.
thing.
And like,
Yeah.
instead of having the guys go at it, let's see if there's never going to be an all girls alliance, right? Just in general, doesn't matter what type of women it is,
Yeah, it
and
doesn't seem to matter.
right, but whenever there's guys together of a certain like pedigree, right, or thought process, they always bundle together. Uh, and
Oh,
that
totally.
always ends up being a boring season. Why not try the flip where we put very highly driven women together? They won't align because they're women, right?
They
And
won't align because they're women, but they'll be able to use the men as numbers,
yeah,
so they can at least be the leaders of their respective factions,
so that might be the clash.
Right,
Uh,
and I think that's interesting. I think you're right. I think that if you look at the personalities we have here, the women are much more on paper and based on what we see of their personalities, they're more likely to try to do things and not take a back seat, which I think that's what a lot of the fans do want in a given season. They don't want to see women players take back seats to the men players, just
mm.
acquiesce to their plans because the men are more aggressive or are going to be more intense with how they try to sell it to you. And flip that around and get the right social dynamic. And so I think that's good. I hope that that's what we get in
I
this
just
season.
I just want I just don't want a steamroll. I want aggression. I want, people feeling, having certain feelings and wanting to I don't want to see I'm gonna go with the house. The house
Right.
is too strong. I'm gonna go with the house. No.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, we got some spoilers coming up here in the chat, so we'll get to that in a second here. We talked about so we talked about everybody.
Did we?
Do you want to talk about the spoilers?
Um sure. I haven't picked up on spoilers, so let's read about it. Oh, wait. Couldn't hear it. I don't think we have it set up for our spoiler warning.
Uh, you didn't hear that?
I briefly like it was barely audible. I don't think we're plugged in yet with that
Oh,
the audio playing through the system. I didn't really hear it.
oh, I heard it. Okay, well, uh,
Folks, there was a
no,
spoiler warning. Just be aware. We'll be brief
yeah.
about it though.
Do I have
This rain is miserable.
you hear that?
I hear it, but it isn't as, you know,
Hmm.
plugged in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
According to Asher,
Ooh,
our new HOH is Angela.
nice.
Interesting.
That's good.
Interesting. Yeah, that's great
That's
for
great
her.
for her. Yeah.
It's amazing for her. Yeah, like her game is so much more set up now. If that's true. So, um, and I don't really know how to feel about Mackenzie or Matt. Says Asher. I was watching the live feeds, and I don't really have an opinion on them.
Isn't that hey Asher, that's a commentary about that because especially when everyone is really new and you're kind of like getting to know everyone in in like the first week, if you're already a dud on feeds and it's a couple days in, that's a commentary on you and your personality. Not you,
I,
Asher, but I mean like the characters of Matt
were they
and
flirting,
Mackenzie.
Asher? Were Mackenzie and Matt flirting and breaking Sam's heart? I wonder. Uh, Mackenzie is closer to Sam's age. Go on. We're trying to make Mackenzie and Sam happen. Kenzie. Oh, well, we'll work on the name.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know if you saw any clips from
none.
so every well not even that every it seems every Big Brother premiere, US premiere, uh, um was it Asha, um the big blue couch,
Oh,
let me see.
Big blue couch, grab a seat and some popcorn with your friends.
He hosts a Big Brother premiere party every season in New York, and uh I think that one of these years you're gonna have to go down
okay.
and check it out.
All right. Well, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, before we sign off here for the night, Jaemeel, or the
yeah.
morning, I guess. Who do you think Angela puts up?
You have to put up Chelsea
Chelsea
and
and Cedric?
yeah, you have to.
You don't have to.
Well, I as
It's maybe the
someone
easiest
who's
thing to
trying to
do.
make inroads to like people, in the house, right? You want to not get blood on your hands in terms of putting people up, and I think that's the safest way. You don't want to be a second week boot because Cedric or Chelsea wins HOH and you go up.
Like who has the like Quinn and who else won the advantage? I'm trying to
And
remember.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie was the other one, but
Yeah.
neither of them end up becoming HOH. But doesn't one of them get an advantage in the POV now too, or something?
The two the two powers were described as the blind HOH or whatever version of the HOH or the deep fake HOH.
The deep fake HOH, and then there's something with the veto that the other one gets. So
yeah, the America's vote veto, which I'm like,
yeah. So we'll see if this deep. I don't know. We'll see. We won't be doing every episode this season. By the way, we're going to only be doing 1 day a week. So I think we'll be on next Thursday. I think I'm going to do Jeff and I just talk about it because Jameel's going to be in San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego.
San Diego. It means a whale's vagina. If you didn't know. And so
I was hoping that there was going to be somehow I could get onto a crowd, Big Brother, filming.
You are going to California. You are going to be near them.
Going to be in Studio City, so maybe I'll find the house and start telling people that
start yelling things over the wall.
Mackenzie, Sam loves you.
Sam,
save yourself.
Sam is waiting for you. Just about find him in Newfoundland, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Where's Newfoundland? Okay. Well,
Sam, I got you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you got to get to work. So do I. So we'll sign off here. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for this early morning podcast, Jaemeel. Thanks to everyone in the comments and for letting us know what's going on in the house. We appreciate it, and we hope you enjoyed this season.
I'm enjoying our talk. I'm enjoying talking about Big Brother again. It gives me a lot of feelings. Gives me a lot of feelings. It's good to see groups. Groups, teams, a federation of sorts.
Of course, and we'll check out the United Federation of Podcasts, which we'll plug. We have all our great shows, our Star Trek channel, our movie channel, Trivial Debates, Aiming on Track, all kinds of great shows. We'll tell you all about them on the way out of here. And I'm excited after this kind of dismal Canadian season we had that I feel like this US season is looking promising. So we'll get into that. And on that note, we'll sign off for tonight. I guess I'll avoid a audio clip. And what am I gonna pick? What do I still have in the hopper from last year? Not much. Okay, this will fix everything. We'll see you next time, everybody.
This will fix everything.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.